Hello and welcome everyone to the Gman Division 4A Week 2 recap. And what a week we had. We had some great games. One, unfortunately, will not be played and will be admin. Umi's Electric Boogaloo versus Beefheart and his Merryman, unfortunately, will not be happening. But what happened was the Sit-Down Boys versus Reds on a Stick as the first game. And a 4 versus 2 in touchdowns, which is already a really nice, really big result for actually both of the teams. For the Reds on a Stick to just get some touchdowns down, they are very, very much down at the bottom of the table, but showing they can still score, that's a nice feat. We have MVPs for Vladimir Cosmos for intercepting a critical pass, and for Chuck for not having thrown said pass, and for throwing down the gauntlet for a nice duel of the throwers against Lord Fluoride. Unfortunately, Lord Fluoride decided against it and did not block back against the opposing thrower. But what he did was very much passing. Out of these 62 yards passing, the Sit-Down Boys passed. Lord Fluoride had 58 meters. 58 meters passing. That puts him now on the top of the leaderboard in passing meters for G-Man this season, because Lord Fluoride is this one, because Longbong Silver of the High Sales had a very bad game, so he did not further his passing game this time around. And with the 4-2, you can expect lots and lots of SPP. We have here 29 SPP for the Sit-Down Boys. We have 21 for Reds on a Stick. Unfortunately, 2 of those to go to a Head Splitter, who is called Big Red in Blood Bowl 2, which is... I can't say anything about that. Who was induced for the 630k TV difference between the two teams. That was a Head Splitter and 2 bribes. And his Head Splitter did some work. He did 19 blocks, which would have been the most of any player in G-Man so far in a single game. Unfortunately, this statistic goes only for rostered players, so Head Splitter will not be counted for that. And not only 19 blocks, also a nice kill on Ricky Pleiades, rookie catcher for the Sit-Down Boys, who got a touchdown and was killed for it. Yeah, that happens. Other things, the Wizard Stadium for the Sit-Down Boys really went well. They got hit by a fireball that did nothing at all, while the Reds on a Stick got hit by a lightning bolt, which knocked down the ball carrier. Yeah, so far, first game, very nice game for, I think, both of them. 19 SPP on rostered players is very nice for the Reds on a Stick to get out of their hole that they were thrown in with this division. Next, we had the Sneaky Blinders versus the Tall Dwarfs with no AV, which was the fastest game so far in this division. 72 minutes they only took, because most of the time not many players of the Sneaky Blinders were actually on the field. The MVPs go to Finn Shelby for getting a hit on the madman that is Frey Gaucher before being removed, and Cormac Dora for having 1/3 of the armor breaks of his team and also 2/3 of the counted CAS of his team. The Sneaky Blinders did not stand much of a chance. There were no members of the Sneaky Blinders that weren't either KO'd or cast at some point in this game. It was not a complete pitch clear, but almost. And with players like this one, Frey Gaucher, He did not block a single time. Had 4 AV breaks. You can guess what happened here. Yeah, and he can also see it from the bribe used and failed. So the referee had some sort of he took pity in the Sneaky Blinders, I would say, to refuse that bribe. There were no level ups from this game, so and especially for the Sneaky Blinders, I think that's a happy outcome. Only one MNG, only an Airhorn, 2 heads Goblin. They still have Linda Shelby, the almost star of the team, the 2 heads Big Hand Goblin. So they look fine for next week, and that after encountering the madmen that are the tall dwarfs with no AV, who, as I said, did not have any level ups. Level ups for the sit down boys, by the way, I forgot that. Mr. Free Refill got a level up, got guard, very, very nice. Second guard on the team. Edgy for movement 9 guard is just awesome. You can get it everywhere you want with dodge, blotch, actually. This is a very nice piece. I would say next sidestep, because then you can get rid of him and he gets everywhere. Also, Phoenix Supreme, the second, also got guard. Third guard on the team. Now you have the sidestep strength 4 guard. This team got much, much scarier because they can brawl now. And yeah, I don't know what it takes to get rid of them from the leaderboard. Next match was Tridentum Execrata versus Stuff from My Fridge. And for 16 armor breaks and 12 armor breaks, there were only 1 casualty sustained, 1 casualty and 1 death sustained. Yes, 1 death at least. That was by... who was it? Formido. Formido threw lots of block dice. Only 1 of them really hit. And that was he killed Montañez, a moldy high elf in Ginger Wolf's fridge. And the only real cast of the game. Also, MVPs, Kaio again, because not doing anything all game worked so well last time, so he thought, okay, I'm doing the same again. He did not block, and he did not get blocked, so very nice work for his MVP. Purple Yam, on the other hand, got the MVP because how else is a Wrestle Pastigor really going to get any SPP? And he was the only one to get a level up from this game again. So we will look at Stuff from My Fridge team roster. What did he get? Purple Yam, tackle, nice. Always want to get tackle in this division. And you, with Tridentum Execrata, you even got one of the teams that don't have much dodge behind you, so you have the tackle for the teams with many dodge players, which is very nice. Unfortunately, with an 0-2, you're now down in the leaderboards, and Tridentum still got no, have not conceded any touchdowns. Let's see if they can do that next week as well. Next game, Community Sport versus the Baltimore Ravens. Dreamify shows me that he can indeed beat elves. And how do you beat elves? By being an elf yourself. Because it all came down to an interception by Mr. Destructoid. I don't want to say all came down, although I just said it. But Mr. Destructoid, a Black Orc, who got an interception that gets the Airhorn. It's so stupid. Yeah. On the other hand, MVPs went to really useful players. Bible Thumb got the MVP for being in the way, and mostly in the way of the enemy. I can't say anything else about this lineman. And Kelhill got his second MVP, because how else is a Dark Elf Blitzer supposed to get SPP? Wait, okay, never mind. Statistics show lots of KOs for against the Baltimore Ravens. Not many casualties, but still from 26 blocks against 35 blocks sustained, you see which team has AV9. Yeah, there was one level up on the Blitzer, and he got Tackle. Yep, you heard it here last. Tackle is really good in this division. Unfortunately for him, his Edgy 5 Witch will be NMNG for the next game. But I think it's just an MNG, isn't it? Yes, it's just an MNG. I think for a game against the Orcs, you take that. You don't really take the loss in stride, but okay. Next game. Umweltschützerin versus Altov Acrobata, and I have to say, 120 minutes for one game, really. I'm not really looking at JCan for this, because Coach Cool, last week you got 121 minutes. So do your opponents have to play 2 hours against you? Is that what you do? Is that anyway, 120 minutes. Okay, I get it. On the other hand, playing against Kislev takes a lot more time than playing against almost any other team, I would say, because you have to think about everything, because they can leap from everywhere, and they can make the weirdest plays. So you have to think more on your turn if you play against them. So I'm sorry, Coach Cool. Maybe it's just that you bring your enemies in really tough situations. Anyway, MVPs. Rosalie Barrow Edge got her MVP for showing that stat-ups alone don't necessarily yield casualties, no matter how often you try. On the other hand, Konstantin Kurakin got the MVP for being involved in every inflicted casualty this game. You can see there was one casualty for the Umweltschützerin, one casualty for Altov Acrobata. Yep. And now you can see what Konstantin really did. On the other hand, there was one short pass on each side, and Shilaki, he managed to get a touchdown for the 1-0 for Altov Acrobata against the Umweltschützerinnen, who still have to show that they can really use their abundant stat-ups. Also here, no SPP, no level ups for anyone. And the last game of week 2 were the Bootleg All-Stars versus the Valakas Ass Kickers, and the Goblins got a point! Yeah, very interesting, very chaotic game, as you would expect from Goblins. The MVPs went to Johnny L. Maxo, who took a ball and chain to the face early on to show his coach that he desperately needed block, and that was denied, I can tell you that much. Also MVP for Borok the Disposable, who got the MVP for being the brave goblin to take over Troll Watch duty after Ripoff ate Lolfa Donk Slide. Yeah, Ripoff, the troll, he was not in a good mood for the Bootleg All-Stars. First, he was always hungry, got a snack. It was, as I said, Lolfa Donk Slide. After that, he went into kind of meat sweats, I would say, and just panting on the field, because after that he was really stupid for a really long time. Maybe it was actually Barak the Disposable who said, no, I will not be the non-stupid assist for this troll, because then he will eat me. And he just went next to the troll and did not do anything about his stupidity. I don't know. Anyway, it was a really nice SPP fest for the chaos. Now I have 24 SPP for the Velikas ass kickers, and 10 also for the bootleg all-stars, because Ripper was again on the field. Ripper, Fungus, 3 bribes and a babe for the goblins, and he did not steal the MVP this time, so there are some actual SPP on here, and one of those, Meaty Tuck, was an interception. I mean, goblins have really, really short legs, and still he was able to intercept the ball, so boo, chaos. Yeah, and again, the chainsaw got injured by on turn 2, this time by an inaccurate bomb throw by his own teammate. So the chainsaw of the bootleg all-stars really has a tough time so far getting his feet on the ground. We have 2 level ups for the Chaos, for the Velikas ass kickers. That's Ruben El Barbitas and Johnny Amaxo. And as I said, Johnny Amaxo wanted block, got claw. Yeah, I can see that you want claw on your team at some point. The earlier, sometimes the better. I'm not quite sure how the schedule actually is for the Velikas ass kickers, because in this division, claw is not as important as you might think. And the other one was Ruben El Barbitas, and he got a strength up. So now we have a mini Minotaur on our hands. Block strength up, he's almost a chaos warrior that is a little bit more mobile and hits harder when he blitzes. So a very nice piece now. I'm still missing tackle on this team. I know the pre-handside tail can do a lot, but I'm still missing tackle. So that's it for the games that have been played. Let's look at the leaderboard, and here we see Tridentum, Execrata, and the Sit-Down Boys, as well as the Tall Dwarfs with no AV, all on top with 2 wins each. Tridentum actually with no touchdowns against them, as well as the Norse. Tall Dwarfs with no AV, also no touchdowns against them. The Sit-Down Boys, on the other hand, just throwing a lot of touchdowns into the enemy's end zone and not really caring about how many touchdowns they sustain. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what will happen with Beefheart and with the Umis. They will get their admin result. On the bottom of the table, Umweltschützerinnen and the Reds on a Stick. As with the Reds on a Stick, as was a bit expected with the TV, but they got some nice SPPs this time around, and maybe they can get out of their hole. So now off to looking at next week's games. First off, we have the Reds on a Stick against the Baltimore Ravens. And yeah, it looks already like quite different teams. We have 240k in inducement for the Reds on the Stick. I guess, my guess would be a wizard and maybe even a bribe, because you have a lot of people you do want to get on the ground. Unfortunately, and you have your dirty player. Unfortunately, the Reds on a Stick do not have tackle at the moment against all these dodge players. So I would say this is going to the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think that the Reds on a Stick will go in without scoring. So I would say a 2-1 for the Baltic Go Ravens. I'm a bit more conservative with my tips this time around. We will look at the results from last week in a bit. And then you can see why, maybe. Next up, we have Altdorf Acrobata against Bifat and his Merryman. So we don't know that much about Bifat yet. They went 2-0 in the first game against the Valakas Ass Kickers, which was really nice for them. Altdorf Acrobata have shown some potential, especially against the Umweltschützerinnen now, and they had a great previous season, and that was a whole different story for Bifat. Yeah. What do we have? We have not much on the still so-called Little Orcs, but that does not have to mean much, because Kislev can implode on themselves like almost no other team. And the tackle will not do much against this team. We do have 2 dodgers, but I would think they will pretty much hit before dodging in this matchup. So the 2 guard will come in handy. Konstantin Kurakin. A killer is always nice, but against orcs, AV9 all around except for illiterate Steve might not be getting as many casualties and AV breaks as he has in the past. So from those several thoughts actually, I'm putting in a 1-1. I don't think there's much more in this game. I know it will go long, but that's that's all I'm tipping for this. Next up, Valakas Ass Kickers against Stuff From My Fridge. Both teams currently not really that hot. Stuff From My Fridge comes from a very unfortunate loss against Tridentum Execrata, which saw the use of Salt Lake in the Discord. And Valakas Ass Kickers got a draw from the Goblins, which also does not bode well. Both teams were actually really good in their previous season. Still need to find their way this season. And now Johnny Almaxo with his claw, he gets some juicy targets. So both teams have 1 claw, both teams have some mighty blow. 3 on this, 2 on this side. I'm sorry, 3 on this side. So in a game of attrition, normally the Nurgle win because of regen. But I don't think this is a pure game of attrition. For that, there's not enough claw yet. There's not enough mighty blow yet. And on the other hand, we have a very, very nice ball carrier for the Valakas Ass Kickers. The ball carrier for Stuff From My Fridge is not as nice so far. So if the Valakas Ass Kickers can get the ball before Stuff From My Fridge have a slow-moving cage, I would give it to them. They have the movement. They have the agility. Yeah. I'm going with a 2-1 for the Valakas Ass Kickers. Let's see if they do as I tip. Next up, we have the Bootleg All-Stars versus the Tall Dwarfs with no AV. Norse are susceptible to goblin shenanigans. Low AV is always a risk against people who have a chainsaw, people who have a bombardier, and people who have now both of their trolls back. One of which is piling on still. Yeah. On the other hand, the Tall Dwarfs with no AV have shown what they do with the with goblins on the Sneaky Blinders. So they are out for blood this time. You see, Sneaky Blinders really got hurt badly in the last game, and the Bootleg All Stars also got really hurt badly in the last game. So they are used to getting pushed around, as is normal. They are goblins. So I would give this to the Tall Dwarfs with no AV. No matter what the previous season was, this season so far has been very nice for them. And so I'm giving this one 2-0 for the Tall Dwarfs with no AV. That it might even go higher, but they showed in their game against Aromasin that they are rather going for the pitch clear than for another score. Next up, Umweltschützerinnen versus the Sit-Down Boys. Top of the league against bottom of the league. And the Sit-Down Boys got two very nice new toys in their bag with the two guard players. Lord Fluoride is back on form with his passing game. I'm not seeing it for the Umweltschützerinnen. If they can manage to find use of all their stat ups, they manage to find use of all their guard, they still outguard the Sit-Down Boys, then they might have a chance. They have 2 tackle, which is nice, but not that much. Sit-Down Boys also have 2 tackle, which is also nice against Amazons, because they are mostly edgy 3, so the tackle really comes into play here. But I'm from previous showings in this division, this season and the previous season for the Sit-Down Boys. I've seen them play. I give this to the Sit-Down Boys every day of the week, and I give them 3 touchdowns. I'm not quite sure how many the Umweltschützerinnen will get. The Sit-Down Boys are not known for their defense, but still, I'm giving them 1, because now with the new guard players, they might even rack up their defense. And I realized that I haven't shown you that I actually tipped this. So, okay, back to the PDF. Next up, Community Sport, Dreamify against the Sneaky Blinders, Aromasin, our 2 streamers against each other. Maybe we can even do a double stream or something. I'm not quite sure how that works. Yeah, this one, yeah, I'm giving to Dreamify. Aromasin has some very nice pieces, especially John Shelby will have a field day with his claw. On the other hand, this is a nicely developed orc team with no MNGs. Not like this is back. The useful edgy up orc lineman. Yep. Very, very useful. As a taunt piece. In my mind, at least. On the other hand, we have top player, actually Linda Shelby, here for the Sneaky Blinders so far. She only has to look out for 2 tackle players in PogChamp and Kappa, and Dreamify also has the very fast Craigasm, has a dirty player in Hey Guys, with 2 orc linemen normally on the bench, and a lot of AV7. I would say he will get a lot of use. I'm giving this to Dreamify with a 2-0. Yep. Tipping, Community Sport 2, Sneaky Blinders 0. I'm hoping for Aromasin to get some points on the board. Although he got a draw, so he has 1 point on the board. To get a win on the board, but I'm not really seeing it yet. Next up, Umi's Electric Boogaloo against Tridentum Execrata. Again, Umi's, we haven't seen much of them. One game, which was a draw. Tridentum Execrata, so far 2 wins, no touchdowns against them. So, yeah, no questions asked. Tridentum Execrata are my favorites for this game. And what actually do the Umi's Electric Boogaloo have against Tridentum Execrata? They have 5 guard against 2 guard, which is nice. But the guard here on the Flash Golem, stand firm, block, stand Flash Golem, guard here on a nice Void. These really, really great werewolves in Vastator and Ultor. And the Umis have really not that much except for John the Killer Blitzer and Wilfred the Thrower. Is he really a thrower if you have edgy 3 and no passing skills except for your starting ones? He is more another glorified lineman at this point. The catchers are not really developed. Yeah, Tridentum Execrata definitely my favorites in this game, with lots more development, lots more useful development, I would say, and having shown this season what they really can do. Do I think the Umis get the first touchdown against Tridentum Execrata? No, I don't think so. And Tridentum, I would say, get 2 touchdowns in this game. So, and to make it official, enter tips. Thank you, your tips have been entered. And now, looking at the results of last week, we have, again, Deadman in first place, together with Lord, I would say Lord Brainlord, but I'm not sure because the name is different. No, that's our sit-down boys coach. But overall, really, really a lot of upsets, I would say. Although this one was just cancelled by me because it will not happen. And yeah, it was the Goblins were a big upset. I'm again back to the browser. I'm very sorry for not using OBS as efficiently as I could be doing. So I'm showing you my tips. Season 3. Here, I've entered them. They are official now. Looking at the leaderboard, we have Deadman really far out in first place. 27 points. You're on point in most of your tips. We also have Aromasin coming in late, but nevertheless getting first points on the board. Dreamify, you have to tip again. Again, I would say you have for your tips until Friday, I would say afternoon. I will close matches that I see that will be played earlier. If a match is played before Thursday evening, before Thursday evening, so Thursday afternoon or something, I will just cancel it because I will say not enough people will have had their chance for tipping. So I will just void those results on the and I will close tipping Friday afternoon, so you have enough time after seeing this to get your tips in. Okay, then after tipping, we go to the stock market. Yes, stocks. We have some development, a lot of shuffling around in the middle of the pack. Tridentum were hopefully undervalued, I would say, in the beginning of the stock market. They went up again 25 points to now shortly under 400. 2 people have shares in them. I would actually get more if I was inclined to. Also, Alt of Acrobata. Apparently, more people think that than just Coach Cool think they are worth it. People sold their stock in the Baltimore Ravens, and rightly so, apparently. So their loss was predicted by some people. Yeah, make of this what you want. Next time we have enough values to actually get a nice graph going. And then, what we all have been waiting for, the awards! Stupid Airhorn. Yeah, we have 5 awards again for this week. We have the Pillow Fizz Award. This time going to Rosalie Barrow Edge for having 11 blocks, 2 armor breaks at least, but no KOs, no chasm, no kills from a piece with block and strength 4. You're expecting a bit more. This is Rosalie Barrow Edge is actually the scary piece of the Umweltschützerinnen. She has to show more for her team. Next up, Run Forest Run for running fast and wide with the ball. Exitium of Tridentum Execrata ran 126 meters with the ball. That's almost 2.5 times across the whole Blood Bowl pitch. And he got only 1 touchdown for that, so make of that what you will. Maybe a little bit overactive, but still 126 meters running with the ball is a very nice thing to. Also, it shows that your enemy has no chance of getting to you and getting to the ball. So it's a power move, actually. Next, Lazy Bugger. Kaio gets this award because, yeah, he had 2 games now in which he had 0 blocks inflicted on the enemy. He sustained 0 blocks. He rolled dice 2 times. Yes, actually, he did something. And he got 10 SPP for it in those 2 games. That's, I would say that's a lot for 2 dice rolled. So, Lazy Bugger Award for doing nothing and receiving very much nice rewards for it goes to Kaio, also by Tridentum Execrata. Then, the Dunce Cap is back. It's for Ripoff, for failing 7 of his 17 really stupid rolls, eating one of the rerolls of the team, and also a goblin. Lolfa Donkslide, you will be remembered. And last, Killer Instinct. Cormac Dora, the Berserker from the Tall Dwarfs with no AV, did what Berserkers do best. 10 blocks, 7 armor breaks, 2 KOs, 2 inflicted casualties. He gets a Killer Instinct award for this week. We also had 2 actual killers again in our midst. We had Formidove by Tridentum Execrata, who went with 13 blocks, but unfortunately it was only 1 armor break in there, and he would have gotten the Pillow Fist award if it wasn't a kill. This 1 armor break. And also the other killer, but it was your teammate, Ripoff. You just ate your teammate. Stupid troll. Yeah, that's it for this time for week 2 of Gman Division 4A. I hope you had a great time. I hope this recap felt nice, felt worth your time. Give me feedback if you have feedback. I'm looking forward to what you think of it. And with that, have fun out there. Have a great week 3. And out you go. Stupid hell.